All right, so we got some breaking news out of New York today in the Trump case, actually. And Judge Merchan issued a decision based on Trump's motions. And I want to break it down for you. I'm Eliza Orlins, career public defender in Manhattan for the last 15 years. And without going through the entire 18-page decision, I want to talk to you and summarize the critical portions. Okay, so let's go through this. This is the decision in order from Judge Merchan, and he goes through the procedural history of the case. He goes through the arguments of the parties, both the Manhattan District Attorney's Office as well as Donald Trump's lawyers. He goes through the jury verdict after 7 weeks of testimony. On March 30th, they found him guilty on 34 counts. And then he talks about and addresses the arguments with regards to presidential immunity. But he makes very clear that he does not believe that this extends to presidents-elect. So while presidential immunity does extend to presidents, this is not the prosecution of a president. He also addresses the motion to dismiss the indictment as well as the Clayton motion, where he breaks down each of the factors. And I'm happy to spend more time going into detail on this if folks are interested in hearing more about it. But Clayton motions are essentially asking for an outright dismissal based on a variety of factors: the seriousness of the case, the extent of the harm caused, and he goes through and kind of explains why on each of these different sections under Clayton he's not going to dismiss the indictment or undermine the jury's verdict. He actually specifically addresses some of the misconduct by the defendant, that being Donald Trump, in that he attacked the judiciary on social media, and that he basically said that the entire process was invalid. Really goes so far as to use these examples and talking, flies in the face of the gag order. The judge really lays that out, as well as, evidence of guilt. He says that is not something in the defendant's favor. Now, in terms of sentencing, it's actually extremely interesting what he says. He basically says that, he was asked whether he would hold sentence in abeyance until Trump had finished serving his term as president. He said he's not going to do that, and in fact has ordered the defendant to appear either in person or virtually on January 10th for sentencing. He's likely to give him what's called an unconditional discharge. It's like a conditional discharge, which I have broken down before if you're interested, but can also do more explaining that, but with no conditions associated. And so essentially he says that this case will proceed and that the defendant should be present either virtually or in person on January 10th. Make sure you're following me for more, because I will be sending updates.